It is exactly 5 o'clock, so we're going to get started. Susie's here also, and we're going to just get this meeting going. Go ahead, Susie.
I was muted. Sorry about that. Hi, you guys. I'm kind of sitting in for Mindy today. Mindy is the artistic director over musical theater, but she is on a very fun vacation with her family. So as her partner in crime, I get to be here today with Katie, and I'm excited to be here. So I am one of the owners, and I'm a teacher in the musical theater department, but I am over everything dance. So if you've seen me give you, talk about dance or send emails about dance, that's because my job is about dance. But I am a musical theater nerd too. So I am I'm the director and the choreographer for our oldest company and American Fork CPC. So that's why I get to be here today, and I'm excited to be here. So okay. We're just going to jump right in here so that we can get through all these line items and help you guys out as best we can. Let me just change my view for just a second to make sure I can see my own notes. Okay, so thank you for being here. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. This is a lot of information, so don't be worried if you have questions, just jot them down, or I think there might be time at the end, Katie, where they may be able to ask questions, but we're always here to help. But we're going to get through a lot of information today. So Katie is the other person on here, and Katie is our Academy Director here at American Fork, and she is kind of the brains and the brawn behind all of American Fork MDT, and she also helps with the other locations. So that's who's here today. We might have some other directors here. I don't know if any of our other directors are on, but Katie, you're muted.
I think everyone is out of town right now.
Well, good for them. They should be. It is the time. It's that time of the year. So, okay. Anyway, so it's just me and Katie today. Let me just briefly tell you, we are Tiffany's here. Hi, Tiff. Do you want to say hello, Tiffany?
No.
That was her hello. Tiffany is our director of Spire, but she also helps with lots of music things throughout the year. So hello to Tiffany. Okay, our mission and our philosophy here at Utah COPA, we're thrilled to have your students come and join us. Our mission and philosophy is that, and I'm just going to kind of sum this up. Katie's got it pulled up here. She's sharing her screen. We do try really hard for MDT, it stands for music, dance, and theater, to give your child a triple threat experience. And we're believers in the school part of it, the training part, so that we believe in training your children how to act more thoughtfully. We train them how to sing more technically as an individual and in groups. And we want to train them how to be better dancers and better movers. So it's always our goal to create an environment that is loving and accepting, and a place where they want to be and where they can thrive. So it's a place where we shove with love, is what I like to say. We shove with love, because we know that you're sharing two very precious things in your life with us, which is your children and your money. And we want to make sure that we do the very best job we can while we have them under our roof and we love them. So that's kind of that's our main philosophy, and our goals and our mission for you is to have a great experience, is to learn and grow, to become better artists, but also to become better humans. So thank you for sharing your children with us this year. It's going to be a great year. Katie, guidelines.
Great. So if you have not received, most of you have received the contract, so you should have it in your email inbox. If you have not, it's because we haven't received your acceptance yet. So once you've filled out that Google acceptance form, we will go ahead and send you the contract. And so I'm not going to read every single thing that we're going to hit on. I mostly want to draw your attention to some things so that you can be sure to read through it thoroughly and carefully as you prepare to start this year and make this commitment with us. So I'm going to just talk about the guidelines for companies. And for me, I cannot see it. It's like under all your pictures. Here we go. So I just want you to make sure you look over this, and I suggest that you go over it with your students, specifically the older students who kind of manage their time and commitments on their own. But even younger students can start learning, you know, all of these things as well. So cater it to your own children. But just read through these guiding principles. I specifically want to hit on attendance. Attendance is super important when you're on a team like this, and it's a group effort. When we have consistent absences or frequent absences by individuals, it just makes it hard for the group to grow as a team. And this seems to happen mostly with our older companies as they get more committed with outside projects and school things, and we do support those outside projects. That's the reason we train. But what we want to do, we actually feel like it's as important to train these students in kind of the business of musical theater as much as singing, dancing, and acting. And part of the business of musical theater is managing your schedule, managing your conflicts, being aware of where you're supposed to be and when. We often have students say to us that they're afraid to write down their conflicts because they're afraid they won't get cast. And first of all, if they really want you in a show, they will work with conflicts. There is not a theater on earth that expects you to have zero conflicts. We all have lives. There's things that happen in previous commitments. And other than, Broadway or tours where it's your full-time job, and even then you can get days off to go to the family wedding or whatever. So put in the concerts, put in the performance dates and the mandatory rehearsals. There's only 2 mandatory rehearsals through the year. And then the 2 concerts and the 2 solo showcases. When you audition for something, put those on your conflict sheets. Put Thursdays, just your company rehearsal block, on your conflict sheet. And know that those are somewhat flexible, and you can make that note that that's somewhat flexible, because we do allow some absences on Thursday, just not 8 in a row while you go do a show. So we want these students to get comfortable talking to stage managers, putting conflicts, being open and honest with their company director about what they're committing to and what other things they'd like to do. We mostly can work with things when there's open communication. I'm actually going to tell a quick story, and I don't know if she's on this meeting, and if she is, I won't say your name so that you won't be embarrassed, but it's a good story. It's a great story. So last fall, I had a cute little girl in Prodigy. So we're talking like, or not Prodigy, Premiere. We're talking like a 10 or 11-year-old. And she auditioned for a Christmas show and was cast, which is not surprising because she's brilliant and amazing. And she sent me an email and she said, I wrote down Thursdays on my conflict sheet, but I can see that on the rehearsal schedule, I'm scheduled to be there on Thursdays at 7. So I'm going to have to leave at 6:30 every Thursday for 6 weeks or something like that. And I said, if you put it, I replied and nicely said, if you put it on your conflict sheet, my guess is that they're willing to honor that commitment. So reach out to your director or stage manager and ask them if they are aware of your conflict. And she did. And she emailed me back and she said, you were right. They had it on their sheet. I'm excused until 7:30 on Thursdays. And I loved that this 10-year-old or 11-year-old learned this now, so young, that open communication is key, that conflicts are okay, that theaters and COPA are willing to work and be flexible within reason and with open communication. So attendance is super important. When there starts to be a lot of absences, it really does bring down the rest of the company. It's hard for the students that are there every week. It puts us in a rush at the end of the, as we're cramming for the last, getting ready for the concert. So just be aware of that. We do allow absences. We have, it says it down lower, I think, but I think it's 4 during the first concert rehearsal period. So from the beginning until the January concert. And then I believe it's 3 absences between the January concert and the May concert. And that's because it's a shorter rehearsal period. Essentially, it's like 1 absence a month. So save those absences for the important things. Don't plan your birthday party or whatever. Save them for when you get cast in a show or your brother's getting married. And and we will do our best to be as flexible as we can within those guidelines. We do have a conflict sheet that we ask you to fill out. We'd love to know as far in advance as possible. We do plan our rehearsals. We don't just show up and kind of do whatever that week. So if we know someone's going to be gone and that was the week we had planned to do their solo, we can, you know, shuffle the schedule around a little bit to make sure that we can make good use of that time, even though they're not there. I'm going to skip a few of these. Just be sure to read them on your own. As far as billing questions, who to talk to about different things. This is where the conflicts links are. So just find your specific academy. This link doesn't change all year. So save this link somewhere, like in your notes on your desktop or something like that. And whenever a conflict comes up, go ahead and fill it out. You don't need to do it for dance classes and vocal tech. It's just for company rehearsal. So that's your Thursday company rehearsal block. We do love to get it as early as possible, like when you know about shows or school events, weddings, all those things. If it's the actual day that you're going to be absent and you're suddenly sick, just call the front desk or text your company director. By then we've already looked at the form and won't look at it again. And so it's better to just let us know if there's a last minute emergency. Then we talk about excessive conflicts. I didn't hit on this, but if you do have an opportunity outside of COPA that's going to pull you away for an extended period of time, we can work with that. We have what we call a leave of absence. We've also done partial leave of absences, where you get an awesome opportunity and we support that, but it means you're not going to be with us for an extended period of time, and it's not fair to hold a place for you in the medley because you're going to be coming back too late, or it's just too much to try to learn quickly. So when you come back, so know that those exist. Our goal is to have you in as much of the medley as possible, but we also don't want to overwhelm you or make you feel bad that you're not there. And so my own daughter has taken 2 leave of absences over her years at COPA for other opportunities, and we're not mad about it. In fact, we're grateful that you are thinking ahead and you know, having that awesome outside opportunity. We just can't hold everyone else back because of it. Dress code, we are going to be much stricter about this year. We do have a dress code for dance classes. There's a leotard and specific tight. Well, you can get any tights you want, but they need to be pink or black. The boys have an outfit that they wear for ballet. We have shorts and things like that. There's options. So those things are important in those dance classes. It helps us to see their bodies better so that we can tell if they're doing the movement correctly, if their bodies are in alignment. It's easier to clean when everyone looks the same. We can tell when things are off. So please encourage your students to follow that. This goes back to helping them learn how to be professional business people in this field as well. You would never show up to a rehearsal at Hale dressed inappropriately, or Pioneer Theater Company, or for your Broadway show. So let's start learning now that we dress for the job we're showing up for. And it's important. On Thursdays, we ask that they wear black on the bottom. It can be anything they want: black sweatpants, leggings, joggers, bikers, anything black, and their black COPA t-shirt. This is often not followed, especially by our older students, but it really is important. It makes them look more professional. Again, it's easier to clean. It helps them be a team. It helps us, you know, just look nicer and cleaner. And like I said, when you dress for the part, you act the part. So we want to look professional and act professional. Dropping out during the year, this is a 12-month contract. We do anticipate that everyone will be with us for the full year. It starts July 1st and ends June 30th. That's the calendar year for payments. Obviously, we actually have our first camp in June, but just know that your commitment is for 12 months. And we do allow people to leave the contract in extenuating circumstances. Those are typically moving or extreme health issues. But once your spot is yours, it's yours. And we've already started making down payments and deposits on tours, costumes, theaters, and it's based on a certain number of students in each company. And so when we lose people, it does affect the bottom line. And it's typically not, it does say in here that we can replace them, but often that's harder than it seems. So just because once you're in the year, there's just, you know, people have already found their things. So plan on participating for the year, and it's a great year. And so we hope you'll be with us the whole time. I'm going to get to the app later, and I think that's it. I'm going to pass it back to Susie. She's going to tell you some digital things, and I'm going to continue sharing my screen. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Katie, can you go to the website for me?
I'm going to stop sharing and I'll go to the website.
That would be great. So Katie's going to bring up the website and show you where you can find the calendars. So we take the time and do our very best to plan out your entire year. So I know we don't start financially till July, but your year starts in June if for some camps. So from June all the way through the next year, the next summer, we take the time to plan literally everything. So we want you to have all that information because we know your lives don't center around COPA. You have other things and other children. And so we want you to be able to plan the best you can for whatever you need to. So these calendars are here for you to upload whichever way works best for you. You can do the one click where it just uploads to your iCalendar. If you're not an iCalendar person, there's also other ways to do it. So you can see right here, the HTML or the iCal. So we try to make it as easy as possible so that you don't have to go line by line and you're adding it into your own computer and it takes you know hours to do that. So this should be just hopefully one click and easy for you to get all of the information you need into your own personal calendars. And like I said, everything that your child will do this year is in the calendar. That includes extra rehearsals before concerts. That means concert time. It won't give you exact times for concert, as in like when my child is doing their dress rehearsal before the concert, but it will at least give you those days. And then we will give you exact times on those types of things about 4 to 6 weeks before the concert. So you can still plan ahead. But at least it gives you the date to pencil in that time. Very rarely will we go back on these calendar items, partially because we want you to have the information and we don't like to change, but also because there are lots of things happening underneath our COPA roof. And if one academy, the Musical Theater Academy, changes, that it can domino effect to everybody else, the Pop Academy, the Dance Academy, acting. So we really try to be a stickler. If you are participating in another academy like acting or dance, we do play nice with our other academies. So we take the time ahead of time to make sure that if MDT has something on this Saturday, that then dance or acting won't, and vice versa, that we try to spread that love so that you're not having conflicts under our own roof. If there is a conflict that we have not seen, please let us know. We're human and sometimes we make mistakes. So we would welcome your extra pair of eyes. But please get on here and grab your individual child's, you're going to want to grab the general calendar as well as your child's specific company. And however many companies they're involved in, if they're involved in more than one company under our roof, make sure that you get all of those calendars so that it will be specific to your child experience.
So let me just interject real quick. So yeah, you definitely want to get 2 calendars. There's the general calendar, and make sure you get the right location. And then you'll scroll down to Music Dance Theater and choose the company name, their alphabetical, not youngest to oldest, and the location. So, and technically you can go ahead and download these now because they're just ongoing calendars, but the dates for next year won't be up until July 1st at the latest. That's our deadline. We're working on them now. And so you're welcome to go ahead and download it now, but just know that July 1st is when next year's dates will appear and be accurate.
And that brings up a point, Katie. This is a live document. So if we change anything on our end, it will just automatically change for you. If you've logged on to one of these options here, if you've done it by hand, then you're going to have to just watch it to make sure that those things change. Rarely will things change so much that you're going to be like, I didn't know there was rehearsal today. So, but yeah, it is
And
live
be
so that if
sure,
there are changes.
if you recall, at the previous parent meeting, I pointed out this, if you go back to the website into companies and musical theater, and if you choose on the AF MDT location, you can scroll down, and even before you have the calendar on July 1st, make sure that these important dates and the tour, make sure these things are for sure in your calendars. These ones are likely not to change at all. They're the most important dates of the year that you're for sure going to want to plan around. And so you can get those on right now and start planning most of your year with these. The other ones will be smaller things that will be this in more depth. So
Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna switch gears and talk a little bit about our app. If any of you are completely brand new to COPA, we have an app that we use. It is free, so if you don't have it, you're gonna want to grab it. It looks, let me see if I can.
I
This
actually
is
don't
so,
think you can grab it yet. If you're
you know,
brand new, you'll get an email with your login
okay.
information. But yeah, let's show it to me.
You could grab it, but you can't log in yet until we
Yes,
give you
there you
information.
go.
So
There you go.
this is really, sorry, this is, I don't know how to show this by except any other way but doing this on my phone.
This
So
is
I
how we do
apologize.
it.
Sorry, I feel like a dinosaur. Look at my phone. Okay, so it is right here. It's that COPA insignia. Can you guys see that? That's what it looks like if you're brand new. Again, it's free, and we will, like Katie said, we'll get you your individual login. But I'm just going to kind of show you really quickly, just a brief overview of the app. Our app is awesome, and it's actually getting drastically updated for the better, but we will let you know when those new updates come and how to use it, but it's going to be exciting. So I'll kind of give you the overview right now of the existing app we have right now. So your student has been cast in a company, and each company has their own like classroom. So here's my main page. Oh my gosh, you guys, sorry. Let's see. This is so funny. Oh, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to go to my
Well, and if you're viewing at home, you can change your view from the grid to be speaker view, and that will make Susie bigger on your screen so you can see what she's
hopefully,
showing
sorry you guys.
better.
So I'm going to all classes, and I have admin access, so you'll see lots of classes on mine. You probably won't see as many on yours, which is totally fine. And I'm just going to scroll down to my MDT companies. Let's say my kiddo is in Prodigy, which I do have a kiddo in Prodigy. So there you go. So once I click on Prodigy, I will see I have Prodigy medleys, Prodigy monologues, Prodigy songs, and then the vocal tech lectures. So your kiddo will, like, their medleys will be in here listed. All you have to do is, you can see the ones I've clicked on that I've downloaded. It takes like seriously no time to download. It will download to the app itself, not to your phone, just so you know. So it's not going to take up that space. And then you can go ahead and your child can practice whatever they need to. So that happens for their company material. That also happens for their monologues. It will list them. Let's see, grab one. And they can practice their monologues at home, because that happens second half of the year. Same thing with the Prodigy songs. And this one divides between male and female, and belt or legit, which is our units that we have in our vocal technique section, or vocal technique class, excuse me. So same thing, you're just going to grab a song, and some of these, not all of them, but some songs have a demo. So a demonstration of the song. And then they'll also have one that's just the minus track, just the instrumental. Not all of them have a demo, just so you're aware. But a lot of them do. Anyway, and you can
Most
just
of
go.
them do. And if it doesn't, let us know and we'll hurry and try to get it made.
Yeah, I think we're aware that there are some that aren't, especially as we add new songs to the app, which we try to frequently. We can't always keep up with the demo, because sometimes we're making the demos ourselves. We're not just purchasing them from off the internet. So we do have copyright with all of these songs. That's why it doesn't download to your actual phone. It just downloads within the app, is because we have access to these. So that's how you use the app. And it's awesome.
Can you tell
Your
them a
child
little bit
should be.
about the lectures and the
Yes.
like
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
classroom
Yes.
model?
Yes. So the COPA lectures, we have 4 sections that that we teach in, and each section has a video. Wait for it. So each video, ideally, this one's on relaxation, and I think it actually, it's either Mindy. Oh, yeah, this one's Mindy. Ideally, your child should be watching the lecture before class. The idea is we used to teach the lecture within the class time, but we felt like we could get more learning and actually application of the lecture in class if the student would watch it beforehand. So correct me if I'm wrong, Katie, your younger students aren't required to watch the lecture, or they are?
The Prodigy and Premier Spire are not required to, but they do have access if they want to. The teacher will summarize the lecture in the classroom.
Okay, I was gonna say
Moxie and up, they are supposed to watch it at home, and then they just have a quick discussion and then do their coaching.
Then move on. Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to make sure that I was saying that correctly. So the material will be taught regardless if your child is required to watch it or not. But it is really helpful. These lectures can be anywhere from 15 minutes to like 40 minutes. So it just depends on what we're trying to teach and how far in depth we go into it. It is really important for their vocal progress if they will watch these. Oftentimes teachers will ask the class of Moxie and older, Moxie, Smash, Principal, CPC, if at the beginning of class, they'll say, who has not watched the lecture? And everybody, oftentimes kids are like, I haven't had a chance. If that's the case, then usually the teacher will send those kiddos out in the hall or to a free room where they can watch the lecture before coming into the classroom, so that the teacher isn't having to waste the other kids' time that have watched the lecture before they can move on and actually apply the lesson that they're trying to learn. Katie, anything else on?
I think that's awesome. You did great, Susie. Way to jump in. Guys, Mindy's in Japan. I tried our classes director, Delane. She has a show tonight. So I tried our tour director, Brenda Lee. She's in Washington, D.C. So I tried Susie and she saved me. I would never.
Are you saying I was third? I was third on your list.
Well, you have a lot going on. I went to the other MDT directors first, hoping Tiffany, you were next. If Susie said no, you were going to be next. So you can think.
So I'm fourth.
I was like, pipe in here, Tiff. Pipe in.
So you were fourth. Okay. I am just going to chat about the registration process. So you all have your casting email. And if you have sent us your Google response form accepting your spot, we have sent you your contract. Once we have your contract, we will register your student for all of their classes. You do not have to do a thing. If you are brand new to COPA, this was in the email, you do need to set up a studio director account or we're not able to register them. We do suggest that you put a card on file so that it just automatically happens every month and you don't accidentally get late fees. You know your exact payment every month because we've divided it equally amongst across the 12 months. You have the tuition and the fees. We discussed that in greater depth at the last meeting, so I won't go into that right now. But it'll start July 1st and go through June 1st next year. And so just make sure you have a studio director account set up, get that Google sheet filled out, get your contract turned in, and we will start your registration. We will have all the registration done. Our goal is by Sunday, June 11th, because our first camp is Monday, June 12th. So you can log in to your studio director account, and that is where you will see your schedule. You can also see all of your payments for the full year. They list them out literally from beginning to end, and you can see every month in there already, even though we won't collect them yet. So tour payments, it usually takes them a little bit longer to get tour payments added if you are a touring student. So just watch for those. They literally have to manually enter each tour payment for each student. So okay, summer camps. Again, we have 2 dance camps. You are required to take one. One is in June and one is in July. You are welcome to take both if you want, and you get to take the second one at a highly discounted rate. So if you want some extra dance this summer because you love it so much, or because you don't love it so much and want to learn to love it more and improve that skill, you are welcome to do both. Just fill that out on that form. For music videos, for those of you that have been with us for a long time, we used to do them every year. We took them away last year to save on costs, since the cost of everything has gone up, like the theater and costumes and just life in general, as you notice at the grocery store even. Cost of everything has gone up. So last year, in an effort to save some money, we did not do the music video, so we didn't have to charge you for it. We're bringing it back this year as an optional activity. So on the Google Sheet, there was an option to select it. That way you don't have to pay for it if you're not interested. And if you are interested, you can have an awesome experience, and it will be a smaller group than, than it maybe was going to be. And so go ahead and register for that if that's something you're interested in. The music videos are awesome. If you're brand new to COPA and haven't seen them, go to our website or our YouTube channel. It's just Utah COPA on YouTube. And I think they're even divided out by academy. So you can see, you can select just musical theater if you want to see the musical theater videos. And okay, I already talked about dance class attire. I did not mention though that we will have a store set up in the studio all summer long. It's in the break room. It is not open all the time like a regular store. It's open like one day a week during camps. So the sign is on the door. I'm assuming an email will go out at some point to company members. I will follow up on that and make sure that happens. That says like, here's the schedule for the summer, and you can go in and try on the leotards. And we do have tights. You can get tights from us or somewhere else if you want. We do have for your dance class shoes. And again, this will come out in an email. For your dance class shoes, you need ballet slippers. The boys, you typically do black, the girls do pink. Tap shoes. We don't care what style of tap shoe you get, unless you are on dance company, then you need to get the required dance company tap shoe. If you are an MDT student only, you can choose whatever tap shoe fits your style and budget. And then for jazz, we used to require jazz shoes, but now the current trend is barefoot or the foot undies or socks. So we'll leave that to your discretion. In the email that you will get, so my point was, you can start buying your dance clothes. You don't need them for summer camp, FYI. You can wear anything you want for the dance camps over the summer, but we do want you to be able to move well and still be somewhat in dress code, so don't come in jeans and a t-shirt. If you don't have your shoes immediately on June 12th, that's okay, but try to get those things as soon as possible. We do have a partnership with the Glass Slipper on State Street in American Fork. If you tell them you are a COPA company member, they do give you a discount. Be sure to remind them when you're actually checking out, because they might forget while you were trying them on. They have a great selection. They do know the required shoes for dance company. And so if you want to take the guesswork out and you're just like, just give me whatever COPA recommends, you can do that, or you can try on different styles. So that's your shoes, your dance attire. The performance shoes, we have to still go through all the medleys for next year and remind ourselves what each company's performance shoes will be. So we'll send that out in an email soon. We like them to wear those to rehearsal as much as possible, especially if you have an older student that maybe wears a heel. So just look for that. We do try to keep that cost at a minimum for the most part. The one exception would be the kids that are older and have grown and are wearing character shoes. And we also try to keep it the same for both medleys so that you can just use one performance shoe for the whole year. Duffel bags, travel gear, t-shirts. We will have more information on that coming soon. We're doing a new system this year. If you've been with us, we did Squad Locker, and then we had Angie doing the travel gear. This year, we're going to have a store and also do special orders. So I don't have all that information. Just a reminder though, and this will be in that email, don't ignore the email when it comes so that you don't miss the opportunities to order. But every COPA MDT student needs a black COPA t-shirt. You can get two if you want. They have to wear them on Thursdays. So if you don't want to do laundry that frequently, maybe get 2, or if your student loses things a lot, get 2. Then if you're a touring student, there will be 3 colored t-shirts, like bright colored t-shirts. Last year we did 2. This year we're going to do 3. 2 of them will match the color as last year, the same colors as last year. So if you have them that still fit from last year, you won't need to buy 3 brand new ones. You'll just need to buy 1 new one. Again, that's just for touring companies. We do wear them on tour. They look great. It makes them look professional. We look like a team. It's really awesome. I'll just say, when we were in New York, it was so cool. They were all in this giant rehearsal room that Broadway shows rehearse in their bright blue shirts with the big COPA logo on the front. And Susan Stroman walked in the room. And if you don't know who Susan Stroman is, she is the most Tony Award winning director on Broadway. And our students looked so clean and neat and professional. And the COPA logo was in her face. So that was pretty fun. And then, like, on the tour to California, and when we go to St. George, when we do those workshops, the California tour, we're in workshops with like 1,000 other kids from all over the country. And our bright COPA shirts really make them stand out. And we're typically the biggest group that goes to this event. Like, most groups come with like 30 kids, or 10 or whatever. And we usually take, last year we took 89, I think. And so they really stand out in a crowd. And it's fun because we got this whole media package from MTCA, and every picture and video, it's like, oh, there they are. We can pick them out so easily. So we love those COPA tour shirts. I hope you don't see that as just like an extra expense. It really is fun. It builds them as a team. It helps them stand out. They look professional at these events. Even the directors and teachers at these events who are Broadway professionals and TV and film stars and Disney directors, they know COPA because they see that shirt. So when your kid is older and auditioning for college or Disney, they'll remember COPA.
Katie,
Okay.
I'd like to also say,
Yeah.
it's functional for us on tour when we are going to these bigger cities, or even just a location that has lots of other bodies, that we can, when they're all wearing that bright red shirt or that bright blue shirt, we can find them very easily and quickly. And as a chaperone, that is, it's a sense of security, and that I definitely appreciate and love.
Yeah.
So know that that's another reason why we're like, oh, we had one year where we had really hideous green shirts. Like, they came not how we were expecting.
Not at
The
all.
color was not what it was expected. The fabric was not what was expected. But at the same time, we're really grateful for that, realizing, oh my gosh, actually, it's really helpful when we're at Disneyland or when we're in these big workshops to go, oh, okay, there's my kids. I can easily find my COPA people that I need to be chaperoning at that time. So,
and it's awesome too, because it works in reverse as well, because often on these tours, we will take students from different locations who don't know each other. And when they walk into a class or workshop by themselves, maybe no one from their location wanted to go, they suddenly see, oh, there's 10 COPA people here. I have someone to sit by. Or if they don't know all of the chaperones because they're from different locations and they're wandering a hotel, obviously not by themselves, but if they're like, I'm not sure where to go, and they suddenly see that bright blue shirt, even if it's not their director, they know that's a person I can ask for help right now. So we wear them too, just FYI. We are also wearing those awesome bright shirts to help us find each other and be a team. And it is super functional, especially in New York City, and it's awesome. So, okay. Dance level assignments. Your student has been placed in a company, but we divide their dance levels by ability, because every company has a wide range of abilities, and we want your student to be in a dance class where they can grow and thrive the most. I'm working on those now. I was kind of waiting to get more responses in, but they're not really important until we register them. So we have a week or two. Once we have those levels set, when we've had everyone's acceptances, we will email those out. You will get an email that says your student has been assigned to level C or D or E or whatever it is, and it will have a list of initials. So if you have students in multiple companies, you can find your students' initials. If there's double initials, I'll try to clarify it with like a second letter. But look for that. Again, know that it's based on ability. We do put a lot of thought into it. If you don't agree with your child's placement, we do ask that you sit with it for a minute. The first month of classes, we will ask the teachers to evaluate the students in the class and recommend if they feel like someone should move up or down so that we can make sure they're in the right place. We really, as our goal is to push students to the best of their ability, but dance is tricky. And if they end up in a dance level that is above their abilities, they can get frustrated easily and lose the love. So we really want them to feel safe and successful and be able to grow that ability. So watch for that. If your student wants extra dance classes, or so on that flyer that I showed you from the website where it has those important dates, there's also additional dance acting classes that they can add into. There's an acro tumbling class for Prodigy Premier Spire students. I can't remember what else is listed in there, but look at those if your student is interested in additional classes. And there are extra dance classes, but they're not listed there because your student needs to test into those classes. So if you have a student that's more advanced that wants to not do the MDT classes because they want more of a challenge, or they want additional classes in addition to the Monday dance classes for MDT, Monday, Tuesday, they can test into those, but you'll need to talk to the front desk and they can help you find a schedule. And then you actually need to attend the class and get approved to attend that class, because those are classes that are set aside for our dance company members. And we just want to make sure that they land in the right place. So that is that. I'm going to pass it to Susie.
I just want to put a plug in, training in music, dance, and theater, you're basically taking 3 separate disciplines and trying to put them into one training experience. And so really, COPA's done a really great job at grabbing creating the curriculum so that your child can still grow in each discipline, even though, we're not having them here for hours and hours on end. But if your child is interested in doing more, I think I would add a vocal class or add an acting class, or I'm obviously really pro dance. So if you can take an extra dance class or 2, that would be really, really helpful to your student. Our options for additional classes, at least additional dance classes and some vocal and acting, it's limited. So if you are interested, get on those class lists so that you have a spot in class. Over the summer is a great time for your student to not only continue and maintain their abilities, but to grow. I am a believer in taking a break. I'm a believer in, having family time, absolutely. But it's also a great time for your student to work. Vocals can be done a little bit more easily at home. Acting can be done a little bit more easily at home. Dance is a really hard thing to do by themselves. So if you do have the means and the time to take an extra dance camp, or even an extra day or 2 of dance this summer, do it so that your student can continue to grow or not just maintain, but to grow over the summer. So that's my plug for those things. Okay, let's talk about tour. We added something. I don't want to say every company tours, but every company has like a heightened experience like a tour. So our CPC, our principal, I'm going from the top down, Smash, Moxie, and Spire, Katie?
Just Moxie. Stop at Moxie.
Okay, those 4, they will go away, like they'll go out of town for their tour experience. They will do Tuacahn, St. George area. They will go to California. They'll also go to New York. Obviously not all of them, but those are the 3 out of town tours that musical theater does. And our tours are not just a vacation for your children. We figured you can do that on your own time. We do make sure that it's fun. But our biggest goal is for them to have an educational experience while having fun and bonding and all of that. So some of the tours do fall at the end of the year and some of them fall mid-year. So make sure you watch when those happen. And those are some of those important dates that Katie was talking about that you make sure you get on your calendar. And those payments, again, do come out separately from your tuition and fees, just so we make sure we get all those payments done before the tour happens. Our younger companies, Prodigy, Premier, and Spire, and Katie, are they all going again? Okay. So they have a tour.
We call it a mini
experience, but
tour.
It's a mini tour. It's kind of an in-town experience, an in-town tour. And we tried it for the first time this year. We went to Lagoon, where they got to perform one of their vocal solos as part of the America on Stage vocal competition. So it's held at Lagoon. It's through America on Stage, but it's held at Lagoon. And so the students will get to come and perform their solo, get adjudicated, get their trophy, and then they get to go play at the park. So the park is an additional price. If you want to attend the park and ride rides that day, you are welcome to at a discounted price. Through America on Stage, we get a discount to stay at the park, which is really nice. But you don't have to. If you want to just come and do your song, you can just come and do your song and then you can go home. But we had a really good time this year doing that, and it was really fun. And so now every company gets kind of a big experience, like a tour that's outside of our COPA walls, outside of concerts, that they get to have this experience together. And we're excited to provide that for everybody this year, which is gonna be really fun.
I
Okay.
want to add that I think older students, even though it's not required, should consider doing America on Stage. It really was a
they
fun day.
absolutely should.
And there were like not a lot of older kids. So go on up there and show them what you've got, because we have some talented kids.
We had just a handful, but I agree, Katie, like it, just because it is a Spire, Premier, Prodigy experience doesn't mean that our Moxie and Smash and Principal and CPC kiddos can't come as an additional experience if they'd like to. It's
Yeah, and you can get all the
usually
same discounts and register through COPA and everything.
they can
So
register through COPA.
it'll be in the newsletter, probably, next February, March-ish.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll probably be like early, what do you call that? Spring, late winter. Anyway, that will let that information go out, but they can have the same discounts for all the same things. They're just not required to go. So, but that would be really fun for them to come. And
it's fun with those older
hang
kids
out.
because they can just stay the rest of the day. They don't even really need a parent. So
Yeah.
it's just a fun way to end the year together.
It is a fun way. And we had a great time this year experiencing that. So it was a great time. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about fundraisers, because maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's extra classes, my tuition, my fees, my touring, like this is expensive. Let us help you as best we can with fundraisers. And fundraisers can be any age of child can do it. It's not required. It's just totally up to you. We do different things. We try to add in different fundraisers each year, but some of the ones that have been most consistent because they've been the most successful have been like the Little Caesars pizza cards, the Roxbury cards, Swig. Honestly, send your kids to me. I have a problem. I really, really do love my Swig drinks. So those three have been, we've also done movie tickets in the past that have been really successful, good sellers for students, an easy sell.
The movie tickets are awesome too for like teacher gifts. So, and we do it right. I think we usually do it in October, November. So pitch them to all your neighbors as like, hey, you can give your teacher these movie tickets and a free popcorn. And Sandra's done a really great job finding the ones that are the most lucrative. So it's not like you sell a candy bar and you make 50 cents.
Right.
Most of these, they're making like $5 to $7 for each thing that they sell. So we've tried to find the most lucrative, the ones that can kind of be ongoing. And we've had kids pay for entire tours. We had Laurel Nell in Tuacahn paid for her entire tour last year just with fundraisers. And she's like 11. She's like a 7th grader. So it is possible.
It is possible. I think you have to be strategic too. I remember one year my own children had a lot of success when around Christmas time. Do you need stocking stuffers? Do you need gifts for family members? And so that worked out really well for us. Obviously, you're not, like I said, you're not required. If you are worried about these extra expenses, have your kids start now
Yeah.
to do extra jobs around the house or to help grandma or neighbors clean or do yard work and start to earn that money
Babysitting, yeah.
and save. Yep. Save it, save it, save it.
We've also had students get really creative and do like backyard concerts where they
Yeah.
just like invite their friends and neighbors and sing for an hour and just
Yeah.
have, like, a jar out to collect money. So
Yeah. So get creative. We will help you and give you some options, but the sky's the limit for you to start now for some of that fundraising. And I think it's a great lesson for kids to learn. It gives them more responsibility and pride in what they're getting here, right? Okay, so if you're on social media, which I know some people aren't, I struggle with it myself. But if you're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, we're really present on those two specifically. Also YouTube, like Katie was saying, we like to post things on YouTube. Please follow us and like what you're seeing, share what you're seeing. If you're going to post something of your child performing at America on Stage at Lagoon, tag us because we want to see and celebrate with you all the amazing successes your kids are doing. If your child is doing a show in the community, we love to brag about it. So let us know, send us an email. That's something kind of newer that we've done in the last year. We would love to let our community know what our students are having success in outside of our walls. So just follow us and keep us in the loop with all the fun things you guys are
you
doing.
can even tag us when it's something that's not even COPA related. Like if they sing at a music festival or something,
Yeah.
we love to see those things and celebrate. I was also going to say, I can't remember what it was. Oh, if you're in a show in the community, I think they do a thing where, like, if you mention COPA in the program and show it to the front desk ladies, I think you get like a gift card or something. Do they still do that?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
hey, like, let's get it out there. You're awesome. You're awesome on stage. Where do you train? We want you to help promote the amazing things that we're doing here because you're amazing. So yeah, let us know. Let us know. Okay, last thing I'm going to chat through is high school credit. So for any students that are 9th grade and older, we do work really closely with Alta Independent, which is an online accreditation, meaning that if your student would like to get an art credit or a music credit or a PE credit because they're dancing through their high school, they can get that and they can go through Alta to do that. It's really easy. Katie has done it. I have done it. Mindy has done it. I know there's several people that have taken advantage of that. I love it because my kid's already spending a ton of time in these disciplines with her extracurricular, like her dancing and her singing and whatnot, that she should get credit for it. And then maybe that can lighten her workload during the school year, which I am always a fan of. So if you'd like more information on that, Katie, do they just go to altaindependent.com? Is that right?
Yeah, just go to altaindependent.com. Mindy and I are always happy to talk about it, like mom to mom, because we're both really passionate about it. So yeah, if you have any questions, my daughter's even done academic classes through them. I don't know if you mentioned that that's an option during the summers to kind of lighten her load again for the school year. So
yeah, I was gonna say, that was the next thing I was gonna say, Katie, is that you don't only have to get credit for what you're doing at COPA, you could also do summer school type experiences. And we've done that as well as a family. And that's been,
and they're great
really helpful.
courses. Like, I don't feel at all like it's like a lazy way to do it. They're through like these really amazing companies and they're working hard. Like I've been really impressed with the programs that they connect us to. So
well, and again, summer's a great time to get some of those extra things in if you have the time to do that. So yeah,
awesome.
That is it. Katie, we did have a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'm going to answer those real quick. So someone asked about the performances. So in the winter concert, not every company will do every concert because Pop joins us and that would just make it like a 4-hour concert. So I don't know how the divide will fall this year, but it will probably be similar to last year. So yes, they will do 2 to 3 in the fall or in the January concert, depending on which company they're in. And then in the spring, they will do all of them because that's our actually, that might not be true this year. So just what we ask you to do is block out all those days. And then like Susie said earlier, about 6 weeks before, we will send out the exact schedule of like which nights you specifically perform and when your tech rehearsals are. The reason 4 days are blocked out is because sometimes we will do tech rehearsal the day before we're actually doing performances. So we usually just try to add that extra day just to make sure it's on your calendar. So yeah, just block out those 3 or 4 days for January and April. I think it's in May now, actually. Let me just say that really fast, because if you have a junior high student in the Alpine School District, there's been a conflict for years with that concert. Our concert weekend is always when the junior high shows are. So know that our concert for May has moved. We are now like 2 weeks later. It's like May 5th through the 13th or something like that, 6th through the 13th. I can't remember exactly. So if you have a junior high student in Alpine School District that did not audition for their school's musical theater program or productions or whatever they call it, you may want to reach out to your teacher and ask to do a late audition, because I think it works now. If you go, I know this is for sure Timberline and I think Orem Junior High, Lake Ridge Junior High, Mountain Ridge Junior High, all of those, their shows were like the exact same weekend. So anyway, good news for our junior high students that now don't have to make that choice. The other question was, do students have to be in the COPA this past year? No, the music video opportunity is for this coming year's new company members. So if you are casting a company for next year, you are eligible to do the music video, and we would love to have you. So it's going to be awesome. Okay, any other questions? We can I can keep watching the chat or just unmute yourself and start talking.
One more question from Erica.
Did one pop up?
Yeah, when do they get a schedule? When do we get a schedule for summer company camp?
Oh, I have not started working on that yet. We're trying something new this year where each company kind of has like we've grown so much that it's hard to have everybody there the exact same time. So that's why it says 9 to 1:30. Not everybody will be there 9 to 1:30. So I've had like a master schedule that I've sort of just used for years, and I kind of need to rework that and make sure we can kind of make this new plan work. But it's 9 to 1:30. So just block that out for now. And yes, about a week before, usually it's not much more than a week before, we'll give an exact schedule of like, you're going to be doing vocals and then you'll do dance and then there's a whatever. So we do a lot of workshops. We have guest artists come in. We start our medleys. We start vocal tech. We even start our spring concert material. So it's a big week. Okay. Someone asked what tour entails. I would love to go into more detail on the tours. So our principal company and CPC company do the New York tour. It's an amazing experience. We partner with a group called MCP. It's Manhattan Concert Productions. They're doing, so what they do is concert versions of Broadway musicals, and it's directed by Broadway directors. It is starring Broadway stars, and our students get to be the ensemble, like the chorus. So we learn the music in advance. It's pretty intense. We have to send them recordings, and they send us notes back, like we need this cutoff sharper, we need to hear the altos more here, and we send them more recordings, and then we show up and we rehearse with the Broadway stars, and then they do this concert at, it's usually at Lincoln Center or Carnegie Hall. I don't know where it is this year. This year the show is Children of Eden. In the past, we've done Parade, Crazy for You, Secret Garden. That's all Joseph. It's an amazing experience. The first time we went, we were like, oh, let's just give it a try. We thought, it'll be fun. We'll see what happens. We figured we wouldn't see the stars and important people. Everyone's important, but the stars, until we got into the theater. But they were there the whole time. Like, we were working there. They get the opportunity to work with with true amazing stars that are singing 5 feet in front of their faces, and get to work with, they got to, when we did parade, Jason Robert Brown actually was teaching them the music, and his wife was playing the piano, and the book writer was answering questions about the context. And it's a pretty amazing experience. And the stars that participate every year are truly Broadway stars, like the biggest names you can think of in
Jeremy Jordan,
yeah,
Laura
Jeremy Jordan,
Benanti,
Laura Osnes, Laura Benanti,
Leah
Ben
Salonga,
Platt, Leah Salonga, also people from television and film that pop
Ben
in.
Platt. Ben
Yeah,
Platt
Ben
was in
Platt,
Secret Garden.
what did Secret Garden with us. And the thing that's super cool is that it is a New York credit. Your students can put this on their resume as a New York City credit. It's not a Broadway credit, but they can put New York City. And it's super cool for a high school student to say, I was in Crazy for You with Laura Osnes and Tony Yazbek, directed by Susan Stroman. When you go audition for Hale and they see that as your top credit, I promise they're going to look up and pay attention. So it's pretty fun. And then the California tour is MTCA. That's the tour that Smash will go on. It stands for Musical Theater Competitions of America. It's a 2-day, 3-day event, but really 2 days, where they do awesome workshops and talkbacks and Q&As, and they each get to compete a solo. They can choose dance, monologue, or vocal. A lot of kids opt into more and do all 3 or 2 of them. And then they also compete their medley as a group. And actually we're doing something new with that this year, because our medleys are starting to circle back around. So we're actually going to do a different category this year where they do a song, and they can do the whole song uncut. So that'll be an extra thing for them to learn that's different than their medleys. It's great. The people they work with are phenomenal. It honestly moves me to tears like every time I'm there. It's super fun. They do like an opening pep rally and a closing finale performances, and the kids are just really inspired. And you're there with people from like all over the country. There's like 1,000 kids from all over the country and outside of the country. There was a group from Guam this year, and it's just super fun. And they're taking classes with them, and you can go watch other people compete. And it's really amazing. And what I love most about this competition is that it's not just get up on stage, do your thing, get off, and then find out how you placed. So if you do a solo, your time slot is 15 minutes long. And so you go in and you sing your solo, and then you get coached by these judges, and they give you feedback, and they're like, let's try this part again. And they're so like, we go to them with them, we divide and conquer. So I saw probably, 20 kids, and everything is so positive. Like, these kids come out like really like uplifted and inspired, and it's just really awesome. I'm getting emotional. And they do the same with their medley. They get to perform their medley, and then they get like 20 minutes of coaching and feedback. So it's really an awesome opportunity. And then we spend a day at Knott's Berry Farm where they do the big awards ceremony, and then we get to just have fun, and then we stay and do a day at Disneyland. So it's really great. It's a fun tour. Tuacahn, it's a speedy short tour. It's 3 days. Technically it's 2 days, but it spans over 3 days. They get to see 2 shows at Tuacahn. They get to do 2 workshops, usually with the Tuacahn cast members, and they get to perform 2 times. So it's like a whirlwind tour packed with awesome, fun experiences. So I love that one too. I love all our tours. They're just so fun. I get emotional talking about tour because it's just
There
really
was a
fun.
question, Katie, about
Yeah.
the tour costs.
Yeah.
If the expense is just the travel and lodging, or what does the expense of the tour include?
So, okay. So for New York City, travel expenses, MCP, some show, like we go see a couple Broadway shows, is all included. There's typically a couple meals that might be on their own, where it's like, okay, this is a lunch break, and they'll need to, we go in groups and help them, but they'll need to pay for some meals. And then often there's a little bit of free time where they could go to a museum or go see the Statue of Liberty, and that would also be at their own expense. But there's a lot of free stuff in New York. Central Park is always free, so we take a lot of chaperones who are very familiar with New York City, and we will help them find things that fit their budget and what they want to do. We've had kids go take classes at dance studios, which is super fun. So there's something for every budget in the New York experience. And honestly, if you just went and did what was included in the tour, you would be exhausted and fulfilled. So you can do that too. And personally, I just like to walk around New York City, and there's so much to see. And if anyone wants to just do that with me, that's free, I will do that with you. So, and then let's see, there were a couple of dance close questions. Does everyone rotate through jazz, tap, or ballet, or do they pick one? Everyone takes jazz, tap, and ballet. And our older students also take choreographic styles, where they study different choreographers that are important in musical theater, so that they have a really well-rounded vocabulary and can walk into any audition. And when the choreographer says, all right, this is a pretty Fosse number, they know exactly what movement to pull out. Another question was, can boys wear the same clothes for all the dance classes? Yes. Our dance company curriculum our dance clothes are designed to go from one class to the other. Typically, they'll just wear their leotard and tights for the ballet class, and they might add like shorts and a tank top for tap and jazz. Tap and jazz and musical theater. As you go to buy your tights, we suggest you get the transition tights. They have like a big hole on the bottom. That way you can pull them over your feet for ballet, and then they like to roll them up on their ankles when they go to jazz and tap. So is that correct, Susie? Is that still accurate?
And in fact, I'm not even sure we sell the fully footed tight, but if you're out in the, the
if you get it from us,
I would get the transition tight.
Yeah, if you get it from us, it'll be the transition tights. If you go buy them at another store, make sure you ask for transition tights. And new last year, dance, you can wear black tights if you prefer. So, okay.
I was gonna say the gear or the uniform, like Katie was saying, is meant to be just for the entire day. We don't have the space or the time to have everybody go in and change their outfit. So I know there's lots of cute dance clothes out there, and I support that, but we don't want to take time out of their learning time to change into something. So if they are going to change, it needs to be something they can do in the classroom in front of all, everybody else. So
it's typically just add a tank top or shorts.
Nothing big. So the question, just really quickly, about everybody does take a jazz, a ballet, and a tap, and the older kids also do the choreographic styles. If your student is not, if they're newer to dance, or if they're not in love with dancing, we do recognize this type of student. We recognize why they are here. They really love musical theater. And so we try to gear our teaching and our curriculum to their needs, while being sensitive to why they're here. So we will keep that in mind, but encourage them from home that our goals are not to make them a ballerina, or, if that's something they want, then we absolutely can help them. But these specific dance classes are not meant to do that. They are meant to help them be better at their musical theater stuff. So when they are in choreography on Thursday, or they're at their school or their community, shows, whatever, that they are more confident movers. And we would love to help them be as strong of dancers as they would like to be. So encourage them, love them through it. We are doing the same on our end to try to not make this too scary, but we do want to see them grow. And we know how important it is for them to be better movers for musical theater choreography, and to feel comfortable and confident on stage. So that's our goal, is to help them to be better at the musical theater stuff, which we know that's why they're here and that's what they love.
Yeah. And let me say, I won't name names, but there's a local theater doing a show with a lot of kids right now. And I know the director, and I laughed so hard because after her callback day, she posted on her social media, she was like, parents of kids in musical theater, get your kids in dance class. She was like, I cannot tell you how important it is that they have some basic technique. So they see it in the community. And I have to say that COPA students stand out as kids who have developed some skills that kids that are just doing shows, or, you know, they don't have as well. The COPA kids have a pretty well-rounded training and are getting cast. They really are. So it's really important, even if it's not their first love. Okay, someone asked when this video will be posted. I will have it downloaded to my computer in about half an hour, and I send it straight to Erin. She's really quick, so my guess is tomorrow. I will email it out to everybody as well, but it will be on the COPA website where the link for where you can find the video for the pre-company meeting, and all the audition information will just be added there. So you can find it there, but I'll also email it out. Can students get help making a resume? Absolutely. It actually, if they didn't get help doing it this last year, it was discussed. It's about 3 weeks of our curriculum to talk about auditions and doing their resume. So I'm sure they talked about it. We're always happy to help. You can send it to your company director. I'm happy to look at it. We have samples, I believe, on the lectures. Like, you could go find the lecture. It's the section 4 is our audition section. And I'm sure there's stuff in there where you can see some samples, and they talk about how to make your resume. But like I said, I'm happy to look at anyone's at any time. There is point classes. You need to test into those levels. And yep, we do have point class.
So I just want to add that, sorry, that I'm at the studio and the bathroom here can be loud. If you are interested in a point class, just because we want to maintain and ensure your students' safety, we would require an additional ballet class that you take, because one ballet class a week next to a point class isn't enough technique and strengthening for somebody to put somebody on point shoes. So if that is something you're interested in, awesome. They are usually on Fridays. But there is an additional ballet class you'd have to test into so that your student is getting the technique and the strength that they need.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last questions, and we'll try to wrap this up, but 4 minutes. I'll give you 4 minutes. Just unmute yourself and throw some questions out there. And if there's not any questions, then we will just say goodbye. You are always welcome to reach out to me with any questions. My email is just katie@utahcopa. It's with an IE, KATIE @utahcopa.com. I'm happy to hop on the phone and answer questions. Maybe email me first, and we'll see if we can solve it that way first. You can also email info@utahcopa.com if that's, and maybe they can help you. And yeah, we're super excited about this year. If you are still on the fence and have questions, again, let's chat. If you're not on the fence but haven't done your acceptance form yet, please do that as soon as possible and get those contracts filled out, and we will have a great year. It's going to be awesome. It's our Broadway Today year, which is always a fun one for the kids. It's current Broadway shows, so they always are excited about that. And by current, we don't mean like literally on stage right now. It'll be like current the last, 10-ish years. And then everyone gets to do Matilda, which is a favorite. So yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this meeting then, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thanks,
all.
you guys.
Bye.